Hey, welcome in everybody to today's pick a card. We have 3 groups for you to choose from. The theme of today's reading is going to be like, what judgments have they made about you? So we have group 1 with the clear quartz. We have group 2 with the malachite. We have group 3 with the hematite. Timestamps are in the description box, so you can jump ahead when you're ready, and we will get started with group 1. Okay, welcome in group 1. If you chose the clear quartz crystal, then this will be your reading today on what judgments have they made about you. I just want to remind you that just because somebody makes a judgment about you doesn't necessarily mean that it's true or even accurate in some ways, and that even if the things that they are saying have some elements of truth to it, a key point there, saying, so these judgments could actually be being shared, okay? But even if the judgments that they're making or do share about you tend to have, like, they've been framed in a really negative way, it doesn't mean that that's really like the heart of the truth, if that makes sense either, okay? So like, yeah, maybe something did happen and maybe they're putting like a negative spin on it, and maybe there's actually a realistic frame or lens that we could look through when we actually look at, like, you know, maybe what has happened there. I don't know how in depth this is going to go, so we'll just get started with what we've got. The first thing that I had is that, like, out of the judgments that have been made about you, is that you need clarity or you lack clarity. There is also the overanalyzing things, and there's something here where they're saying like you need to move on, and I literally heard the words like being a simp. So I would say, like, we have the replaying the breakup card here. This definitely just seems like it's that straightforward. Like, this is for someone who's like come out of some sort of separation of a relationship or like connection. Like, it doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. This could actually be a friendship or something. It's like you have gone no contact with someone, there's been a fallout, or just, I don't know, whatever it is, feels pretty emotionally charged. I think for most of you it probably is in the romantic side of things. Whatever it is, there was like a lot of heartache, heartbreak. It was very emotionally charged. Okay, so it's like the judgments that this person's making is, there is a level of projection here, where they're maybe not like just looking at the fact that like you're just going through what you're going through, or like you know, that, I don't know if it's like empathy or sympathy, when you have the ability to actually put yourself in another person's shoes. Like, the reality is that if they were in your shoes, they would probably be experiencing the exact same thing. But there's something here that, like, when they talk to you or when they see the things that you're doing in your life or decisions that you're making, there's something here where it's like this person thinks that you're just kind of like moping around and like choosing not to get over it or something like that. For some of you, I do feel there's probably, this feels kind of split, right? So this could be like 2 different groups of you where there's like slightly different versions of the judgments that are being made. This could also be 2 different people that are making these judgments where they're kind of similar but slightly different still. Because some of you, there could be something here where, what is it? You know, there's like that level, I think we talked about in one of the last videos. I know this could talk or touch on themes of like dissociation, or even just maybe not really coming out with like a, you know, full disorder or anything like that, but maybe just having had experiences that were really hard, or there was like a lot of betrayal or something like that. This can kind of speak to, like, it could be as extreme as, like, you know, very traumatic things. And not to say like there's any one thing that's necessarily bigger than another, because, you know, we all get affected differently by different things. And just hearing that like one man's trash is another man's come up. So that's like spirit's way of just like encouraging you and letting you know that like it's all good kind of thing. And we will get back to the topic and the point of the reading, but I feel the need to kind of say that there could be something here where when we've had experiences that haven't worked out, sometimes we can get stuck on trying to work out like what the mechanism was of our own judgment, of like, you know, how we feel like we have made poor judgment, and we're trying to work out how we got to the place that we did. And maybe in the process where you haven't quite worked that out yet, there might genuinely be a little bit of like being on a mental loop here, or rumination or something like that. Or maybe even if it's not an all the time thing, there are moments where it comes up and you do get a little bit caught up in it when that happens. But this is just very human stuff, right? Okay, that being said, we're going to go back to the topic of the reading. So, okay, we also have the Six of Pentacles here. I think there's like a lot of give and take here. I think there's something where I wonder if this person thinks that you have like an agenda in terms of give and take. There's something here, it feels very uneasy. So for some of you, this could be, it's actually kind of like hard for you to accept, but then like, I don't know if someone like is or did withhold something, or if this was you and or this is like a judgment. Bear with me one moment. I'm just going to try to ground into this a little bit and see. I think what it is that I'm getting is that someone is saying there's like this, you know, it is the judgment that they're making, and they're saying it to somebody else, okay? That whatever this is that's like happening for you, that you're experiencing, or this way of being, or, you know, all the things we've kind of talked about so far, it's never ending. They're like, it never ends. Yeah. They think that you just need a shift in perception, and then you would see like, I don't know, like a higher truth, or that you would get back to your kind of traditional way of being, how you normally are. There's maybe with this like seeing things from a different angle, then you would feel much better about the situation, and then you could like kind of get on to just like being who you really are at your core. And just like embracing having a good life. I think this person maybe is like a level of overestimation or underestimating. So it's like maybe overestimating like this is weird for me to talk about this way, because you can be like dirt poor and be real happy, right? In moments. I guess it depends on, I don't know why this is getting this way. Okay, so I feel like there's judgment here around potentially how money is spent, seems to be a bit of a theme. There's judgments around your happiness linked to financial status or well-being or security or something like that. I think that this person, I don't know if they've seen you receive something of like material value, and they think that that should have been enough for you to kind of get over whatever this is, and just be pretty and just be happy, and just like, you know, leave this all in the past or something like that. And that would kind of set the record straight on its own. Yeah, that would be where this whole thing ends. It's like, you know, you've lived out the being sad part, and then you had something good happen, and now you basically just need to like, in a short way, in the shorthand, blunt version of it, they want you to just get over whatever this is. But I think in reality, they're kind of overestimating the like level of abundance that you receive, or they're underestimating like the level of things that have kind of happened or how they've impacted you, or maybe the different adversities that you face in life or something like that here, okay? So yeah, it's pretty sad. It does seem this would very much fit the lens of like, even if there's not been a breakup that's only just happened and it's really recent, there could be something here where it makes me think of there's something on that they can't see on the outside, right? Like if you had a broken leg, they could see that that's a problem. Everyone knows that kind of thing. Like it also makes me think of like, the types of ABUSC that are out there. Some are very obvious and some are very not obvious. And so there's something there where I think this person's kind of minimizing whatever it is that you have experienced, even if it is as simple as like a breakup. I think I just heard the word flimsy. So I think this person could think that if you did go through some sort of breakup, that like you shouldn't be that heartbroken over it or something because it was kind of flimsy to begin with anyway. Or maybe something about like you just having, I don't know if it's like just being a person who might just cry over anything or something like that. So maybe it's not that serious and you just need to, this person almost makes me think they're just waiting for you to get it out of your system so you can move on. And I don't feel like this is something you can just move on from, okay? But I just want to say that even if you are being in a stage of like, really trying to nut over the things that have happened, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's like that thing of what I was talking about when people are not in your shoes and they think, well, this is how I would handle it, or they have that like kind of clear vision on the outside, but when you're on the inside, you're still processing things and you're the person dealing with the feelings, right? So there's something there like that. Yeah, but I mean, this over analysis, I think there's something about this person where it's a bit, I don't want to say, is it like rudimentary or base? Is it basic or like, I don't think that's really right. Like maybe it's like entry level or a bit more shallow, where I think they think it's just not that deep. But I think there's something here where it really is, okay? Is there anything else here that we have for group 1? No. Okay, so that's everything that I have for you today. Hopefully this is insightful, and take care of yourselves. I will see you in another one. Okay, welcome in everybody. If you chose the Malachite, then this will be your group reading today for what judgments have they made about you. And so the first thing that I want to say here is that I'm getting something about like maybe I need to quickly remind you guys, just remember that any judgments that are laid out doesn't necessarily mean that they are true or accurate, and that even if there is some truth to them, there can obviously still be that like negative framing to them. Doesn't mean it's necessarily like very realistic when it has that kind of negative spin on it, okay? We never know what lens other people are coming from unless it kind of comes through as well. And even then, it's still a general reading on YouTube. It is not the same as a personal reading, okay? So definitely use your discernment. But that being said, I was getting things like the judgments that have been made is you can't read the room, you're over investing in things that do nothing for you. And I literally with the 8 of Pentacles was getting something about like working really hard or showing up every day or putting heaps of work into something, but then it was like the Two of Swords at the end being like a block, where it's like actually not going to get you anywhere. It's weird because Eight of Pentacles is something that you actually get paid for. It's a kind of finely tuned craft. It's actually, it's like the version of like paid work, I guess, in some cases as well, okay? But it's also like being good at something sometimes, the way, whatever that looks like for you, okay? And so with this Two of Swords, I actually think there's something here where this person thinks you've got some sort of like mental block around the choices that you make, like you're not seeing clearly, or you are, I don't know if it's like weighing, you're taking too long to like weigh things up or something, but there also could just be a case of like the type of work that you're doing, or the things, the skill building, whatever that is that you're working towards, is actually just creating a block, or you're going to eventually get to a point where you're back at a crossroads again anyway, and so it's not actually going to really get you to the place that you would want to be or need to be or something like that, okay? So back to the other things that I was getting. So what judgments have they made about you? So I was getting something here where they've made a judgment that there could be like an air of desperation for some of you, and that you're like stuck being sad. So, you know, we have this card here where it's saying it's complicated, crying over situationships, emotional investment, rejection, and seen 2 days ago. So I think this person thinks you have lowered your standards too much in one area, and maybe have, I almost get something where it's like unrealistic, I don't know if it's expectations or goals in another, I don't know. It's like they just think you can't see something clearly, okay? All right, so moving on. So we also had you're stuck being sad. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, so something here about you being hollow, and then everything that you do is like a desperate plea for attention. And I just think it's like so, I don't know, is when I read that, when I like had that come through, I just felt like no matter what the actual situation was, is that this person was, they have some other sort of issue or agenda here, if that makes sense, okay? Now, we also had you need to work on yourself, and for some of you, you'd rather focus on anything other than doing the actual work or accepting reality of where you're at, something like that. Okay, that all said and out of the way, I'm just going to take a moment to kind of, we want to kind of clear that up a bit, because I feel like some of that was a bit kind of harsh, or like, where's candles getting too low for me to light the Palo Santo over it, so here we are. Just want to like help. Okay. Yeah, I see it as this would be a situation that this person could maybe see a situation for what it is, but instead of choosing to just have compassion or just be supportive or just like be a friend or whatever that is, it's like they're using, or just being like, you know, we're all human, it all happens to us, whatever that looks like for you. It's like they would rather use it as an opportunity to put you down, I guess. So it's like maybe most of the judgments are just them kind of making a judgment, but that one specific one about everything you do is a desperate plea for attention, I feel like it's either a narrative being built, or something that they've actually said to somebody else here. Okay, so just take what resonates here for this one, and just remember to use your discernment. Like if this doesn't sound like a situation that you've kind of been through, and you know, it doesn't really fit the bill for you, just leave it. We're not going to take anything on that, like, you know, isn't ours, okay? So I do want to take some more cards. Okay, so I was just getting something about like started at the bottom, now we're here. So I think there's something here where it's like this person doesn't actually see that you've actually come really far. It's actually been like a really long, really hard, I was getting the word arduous, I don't even know what that means, journey. And it's, I think there's something here where you've had to display or demonstrate like great strength and great determination to actually get to where you are, and you've had to carry a massive load. And I think in some ways it kind of leveled you up or like made you really strong. I was getting saying there's, I don't know, I feel like there's a few people that have been saying like new levels, new devils. It's like they haven't seen the things that you've had to go through. I think this is talking about back from like day dot, from birth or from childhood or something like that. Maybe your experiences have stacked up in such a way that it actually makes it really hard for you to know what you want or see things for what they are or choose things in a way that would probably be beneficial in the long term or something like that. Or maybe you're choosing things that I don't know if it's because it feels good or if it's because it like, it's like you don't even, it's like you just have trouble even making the choice. I think that's the point, is like there's kind of a lack of foundation of how to make the choice. And I think that that's like the thing here that's kind of been overlooked, is like, you know, not everyone grows up with that, right? Some of us are working it out later in life and things like that. So whatever that looks like for you, just take what resonates. The other side of it is here is that they may not actually see just how many choices you have available to you. So when they see you make a choice, all they see is like the choice that you make. They don't see the other options that you had at the time, if that makes sense, okay? And there's like the choices that you have made and you being the way that you were to get here today, whatever that position is for you, has actually opened up a new beginning for you where you're actually going to be in such better place. I think there's something here where you've really kind of stacked on the wisdom in terms of your experiences that you have had. So even if in other areas you still really struggle, like this whole decision or choice making sort of position to be in, or that there even could be a level of like apprehension here in terms of like, maybe it feels emotionally like, I don't know, maybe emotionally it's like, well, these are all emotional choices that I'm trying to make, and it's not as simple, straightforward, or practical as just go get this job. It's like there's something here where the choices at hand are very much like of an element where it really is talking about things that are feeling based or something like that. They're very like internal. And so maybe you have people that are looking at this from a different lens of like being practical saying. Now I don't want to just keep like kind of mansplaining that, we're just going to move on. But getting back to this whole thing of like everything that you have done has brought you to a point of a new beginning. And I very much get this whole Six of Wands card here as like a massive kudos from Spirit, as in like congratulations, you did it, you're over the hump. You've like, it's kind of like, I don't know how to frame it, because I'm kind of getting it almost as like you're the winner, but like not in a competitive way. It's like you overcame the whatever obstacle, you kept going, you made choices that were hard. I don't know, I don't understand. I guess I'm not meant to, this is your reading, but you got yourself to this point of this new beginning, and I think there's going to be nothing but up and up from here on out, okay, if that makes sense. So there's something here where I guess in some sense, you know, with this, like, it's complicated in the background. I just think that this person who's making these judgments is actually not willing to understand, not willing to invest in taking the time to actually get to know or understand the situation or something like that. So it makes a lot of sense why they're just going to throw that out there. But there was that whole thing where it did seem like they maybe had something else going on, of everything you do is a desperate plea for attention. I think... Okay, I just want to see if we need any more cards. Is there anything else here for What judgments have they made about you? Really looks like that's probably it for the most part. I just need to say there could be something here where they've kind of judged you based off of an aesthetic, something that you do, or the way that you look, or the way that you dress. It's maybe not really the way that you like actually like your physical attributes, but maybe more about like, well, you dress in this style and you have your room set up in this aesthetic or something, or maybe things that you post are a certain specific aesthetic, and this person's kind of making like weird little snap judgments based off some creative kind of aspect, or yeah, anyway, we don't need to, I don't know. Malachite, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, no, that's everything that I have for you today, group 2. So hopefully this is insightful. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in another one. Bye. Okay, welcome in group 3. If you chose the Hematite, then this will be your reading today on what judgments have they made about you. And the first thing that I was getting here is them taking like a match to your reputation. So, and I do think there's like probably a blend of like just their genuine judgments here mixed in with whatever judgments they're going to kind of throw out, okay? So we have a few things here. So we have carless, car issues, no car, repo, quarter case. I'm just going to turn that over because I don't know if I can have that word on display, but I think we all know what that would mean. And then we also have in their head with overthinking, stressed, and overanalyzing. So I need to say that this carless thing could speak to money issues, or to not having the ability to get around in some way. And that could be linked with like a, I don't know, a pun, if you will. I feel like anyway. What else do we have here? So repo, car issues. They definitely could be saying that you're a person who lives way too much in their head. So just note of the point of difference of like that's something they're actually saying, like a judgment that they're, putting out there. And that, you're just like overthinking things too much. Okay, so we also there was like a question of if there's some type of like delusion playing out here. And if you told someone something personal about yourself, this is what it's from. So you could have actually, if you were really stressed, or maybe you were overanalyzing or overthinking some sort of situation, but you kind of maybe soundboarded with a person that you thought you would get like, it would be like non-judgmental enough that, it's kind of a safe enough space that you could say it without it being like a massive thing. But then at the same time, a person that you kind of maybe respect, whatever their opinion might be or something here. And it's like from that one thing that you've, tried to soundboard with them to get clarification on, all of a sudden now they've got this judgment here of like, they're actually... this would be the equivalent of if you have anxiety, but you're concerned about something that is not a baseless claim, like it's happened before, or there's a really high chance that something's looking to turn out a specific way that would be really bad for you, or something like that. And I know that there is an art with that where you can, if we can try to just be accepting and surrender to like what life is, and not worrying about things until we get there, and just making the best of the situation at hand. It can be a lot easier said than done, also for like really heightened or emotionally charged situations as well. So whatever that is, I feel like they have maybe taken something out of context there a little bit, which is unfortunate, because I do feel like that specific person, they I feel like you maybe thought kind of highly of them. We do have like Aries come through for that as well. Don't worry if that zodiac doesn't resonate for you. It doesn't have to. It's just extra confirmation for those it does. So we also had something you're doing is tired and you're putting on an act, and there's something here that you need to get over, and you need grounding and a reality check. So this is the really harsh part of this, is where I feel like I just need to say that could be two different people, okay? So what I just talked about with that, like overthinking things, soundboarding to someone that maybe they are like a friend or whatever, and now maybe they're kind of making like an internal judgment about a situation, or about how you may be overthinking something. I'm just going to separate that out because I feel like it is different. Okay, so that's like one scenario. Everything else that I have said is for this other scenario where this is a person that is like saying things about the judgments that they've made. I mean, yeah. I don't know how much this person we talked about that you soundboarded to would necessarily be putting that out there to other people. And if they did, I don't feel like it would be, more than one person. It would maybe be like their own confidant or something to help them kind of work out something a bit like how they feel or think about it or something, trying to process it themselves. Okay, so getting back to this other person. So there is something here where you could have had some type of problem that's been playing out for a long time. This problem could be something that this person sees as potentially self-induced in some way, or that you're being delusional about the ways that you need to achieve the result to kind of get through or over that. But there is also something here where if it is not the case, there is something here specifically, I have to say, if just straight off the bat, like if there is any sort of like spiritual, religious, like, I don't know, mystical things that you like, this person is 100% judging all that sort of stuff, where they just see it as very hollow in some sense, okay? And with the burn bridge, so we were getting that message about, wanting to burn your reputation. So I think these would be the types of judgments that they're making, that they're actually saying in order to try to put down your reputation, where they're going to say things like, well, they're not quite right in the mind, or I'm not even sure why they're wasting their time doing something like that, which is weird because I don't know how that's meant to... Yeah, anyway, let's keep going. Okay, if you tell someone... For some of you, there could be an overlap between these two, but I really don't think there is. Yeah, it's like... I just want to say it would be the same way that a person who is very much just living a normal mundane life, but they see you like meditating or, trying to practice like a manifestation thing, that would be the very thing that they would be like, this is a waste of time, it's getting old now, can you just get over can you stop the act now, kind of thing, which is weird because I feel like you probably... Some of you are in like similar kind of groups of like-minded people, but it doesn't have to be the case. There is something here where the judgment that this person's making about you is that you would somehow set a match to their... I don't know if it's their like social life or something like that here, okay? So it's like... It gives to me a bit of a get them before they get me kind of mentality, But the thing is, I don't think you were like after them. You were actually, this is weird. I think this person knows. I think they're throwing out judgments, maybe, whether it's to different people or at different times or about different situations that have come up for you, or like about you or whatever that you've been involved in. It's like they're kind of saying like one thing to one person and another thing to another person. So that would make a lot of sense, because I was like, this does not make sense at all. It's like so almost like delusional in their thinking. If they genuinely had made those judgments, trying to put the two together, like realistically, like because it doesn't strike me as just being like very intelligent, very in depth, very multifaceted, in the way that they're kind of arriving to the conclusions that they're making. It's not what it is. All right, so what else do we have? Yeah, I do feel like there's something here where they would really, I think this person would stoop low. And I think nothing's really off the table for them to kind of try to throw shade at in terms of this. I don't know. Can we go back to the theme of what judgments have they made about you? I think for some of you, this person could talk about you. It almost gives me a little bit of like a Neptune energy, where it's that we were touching on, like sort of delusional watery things or things that might feel good or something. I don't know. The way that they're trying to explain it doesn't really hit for me. There is also something here where let's use evil eye stuff for an example, right? So the symbol, the evil eye thing, it's meant to like help stop or protect you from anybody as like evil eye or negative energy that might be sent your way. And this is just something that like everyone could do without even meaning to, by just having some sort of random judgmental thought or something like that, like a negative thought that everything is energy and whatnot. There would be something here where if you like evil eye stuff, this person would be like if you're wearing it all of a sudden, they'd be like, oh, they're paranoid. And I don't know, it's weird because it feels like they do really similar things. Okay, so it might not, I'm not saying everyone here that's watching this video wears evil eye jewelry, okay? It could totally be anything else. It's just like there's a level of like it being very hypocritical in a sense, okay? I think this person is also making a judgment that you maybe like do weird things, and that you do. I'm getting a lot of like occultist sort of witchy type things come through. So just take what resonates. I will kind of skip past that. Like we will have other things. Not every single thing that I list out is necessarily going to resonate for every person. But this person definitely could think that you like do weird like rituals, or that you're doing like weird things at night. I heard the word like incantations and stuff. So this person could like, I don't know, you could resonate with being witchy or something, but maybe you could also just have an aesthetic like that, and this person is like making these judgments about you. What I think it would really come down to, even if you are doing anything like that, is there's a judgment about the like what it is that you're doing, like the intention behind it, or an agenda, or the way that you go about things. So because to me in this moment it's almost coming off kind of creepy, right? So they're seen as like something that, I reckon it's like one part of it is like you put yourself out to the world in a light and fluffy way, where it's like all crystals and candles and manifestation and meditation and like taking care of my body and well-being type of thing. And then it goes to a point of, and like just like, I don't know, being able to kind of sit in that and it might feel nice or something. And then the other side of it is like, but really behind closed doors, or when it's like nighttime, they're like paranoid and they're doing weird like witchy ritual things that don't do anything anyway. And they're like, it's too weird for me. It's too like, this person is like I said, some of these things are judgments, and I think some of these things are like judgments that are being thrown out there, okay? I think you would know who this is if this is like, I don't really feel like there would be a lot of room for confusion here in who this would be if this was your situation. I mean, yeah, just take what resonates, but there could also just be something, all right, about like an aesthetic, about the way that you dress. So like if you like the color black, this person would just be like almost like a judgment around like why you wear the color black, as in like it's like a weird aesthetic. I keep getting the word weird, so there's definitely a judgment here. I think that is more of an internal thing that, like, whether they voice it or not, it's definitely something that they think when they think you're really weird. But if you like the color black, or like maybe like we'll use like a goth aesthetic as an example, then this person would be like, oh, why do they dress like that? Like, it doesn't even look good, as if everybody out there is just dressing to look good, and who's to say that it doesn't, but maybe it's just not their preference or something. Like, you know, other people have different opinions on what might look good or something. Okay. So what else do we have here? Like, and it's something weird too, where it's like, there's not an allowance for you to just like be your own person or something. It's like they want you. I don't think they really see you very deeply. What am I doing looking at the back of that? Yeah, I don't think they see you very deeply. There could be something here too where I don't think that's right. What else? It's just standing out to me with these cards where we have like, what's the tea? It says like, life is like tea. You must calm down to face it. So there is something here too where like, I think you probably actively do things to try to like regulate yourself, or to take care of yourself, or to put your like self in the best position that you can, or look after your health or something, to really put you in a position that when things turn to shit, that you've got the ability to deal with it. And there's something here where it's like, I don't think this person has really had to experience, they just don't get it. Like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so the judgments, is there anything else here in what judgments have they made about you for group 3? No, that's everything that I have for you. Hopefully, I got one more thing. So like, if you wear like things like glasses or crystal bracelets, or even like, you know, sometimes you can get like boho style garments and things like that, they would think that you do it very much for show, as opposed to liking things like that. Okay, so there's lots of different things here about aesthetic. Okay, yeah, I think they think that the aesthetic has like an agenda, or like that's the judgment that's being made, is that there's like a reason that you would do something like that instead of, and if it's not like an attention thing or something, then they would see it as part of this, like almost like feeding into a slight question around whether there's a delusional factor there or something. So anyway, it's just kind of like disappointing. All right, guys, well, take care of yourselves. I don't know, for those of you that do like energetic clearing, maybe this would be a good time to go do something like that. I might just quickly do one more Palo Santo, just help clear out anything before we close it off, and then we'll say goodbye. But otherwise, I hope you guys have like a really good day, and hopefully you don't really have to deal with this sort of stuff too much. I feel like that will be enough just to get it done. Alrighty, take care everybody. I'll see you in another one.